So Drew and I are working on the backswing pieces for him. Big picture for him, ball flight wise, we're trying to tighten and eliminate a ball that curves too far to the left. And what we notice is that in his swing, when he gets too deep in his backswing, that leads to a reaction to that where he hits too big of hooks. And I'm explaining to him, he's not quite understanding, or I'm not presenting the way he understands depth versus height in the backswing. So I just want to make sure I'm cleaning up the terms, because when he goes on the course, if he's not certain in his mind of what he's trying to do specifically, that really throws him off. And while the fields are going to change, I want to make sure he knows specifically what he's trying to do. So we're just going over the difference between those two things and making sure he has specific feels and options for feels to create what we're looking for to get the ball pattern that he wants. Yeah, I think obviously like we talked about, if you had like a tournament to play or anything like that, and it was like we needed immediate quality of shots, we would go, the conversation would be different.
Yeah.
So you going outside playing, I don't really care about, but I do care that you're not able to feel it. So
yeah.
Let's just recap verbally and then we'll go through it here. What we talked about last time, one was right during the backswing, that we're getting the club more vertical and more in front.
Yeah.
And not as deep. So let's define that first.
All right, and so like I can certainly feel like the vertical part, but I know we talked about like the deepness a little bit at the end of last week.
Yeah.
And I think the only way I can like, but I just don't know if like I'm, like I have a feeling for it, but I just don't know if that feeling is accomplishing what we need it to. That's why I wanted to ask you about it.
You don't know if that feeling is, say that last part.
Is accomplishing what we're looking to do.
Got it.
I don't know if it's like to that level it needs to be with that, with that specific feeling. So
let's check. So let's take a setup like here so you can see the mirror. Let's go.
Here's
like,
good.
Can you see that black mirror in the back?
Yeah.
If you go vertical from there, or is that kind of not good? Go to the top. Oh yeah. Yeah. So come towards me a little. Don't worry about the ball. Just where you can see the top. Try from there. You don't need to even be on the mat if necessary. So come this way. Can you see your whole body there?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So there's two parts to this, right? One is how vertical. So just like if we measured it from the ground to here, how much up is it? Meaning, is this like 5 feet and 5 inches? I'm just gonna say 6 feet, just to make it simple. Let's say this is 6 feet, right, from the ground. Mm-hmm. This is only 5 feet from the ground. Yeah. So that's part of it, right? Just the vertical part. Yeah. Then there's also how deep. The deep,
and that's the thing I think having trouble with.
That's what you're
like the verticality is not like a huge issue. Like I can feel that a little bit easier. Yeah. But when I feel myself, I can feel it getting vertical, which was good, like in the video I sent you last week. Yeah. But then it was still getting deep, and that's the thing that's hard for me to feel. Got it. And like the feeling that I've started to correlate with that is like if I feel like that left forearm is almost across my face on the way back. Okay. And I just want to see if that's actually accomplishing it or not.
Yeah. Let me get a long stick so I can just give you a reference point, and then we'll go over that. So let's go up to the top again.
All right. So in this spot again.
Cool. So when I'm measuring this, and I'm going to just go from butt of the club to the ground on a straight line. Mm-hmm. This is basically what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. That's in the middle of that right foot?
Yeah. So if you go deeper.
I mean, I'm back behind that heel.
Behind the heel. And why is that a big deal or not? Well, why it's a big deal is the more you're back here.
The more I have to slide.
The more you got to go from back there to get in front of you.
Yeah.
Which means then this really has to shift this way, which it can.
Yeah.
Or it's going to go more downward, and then you're going to do what? Slide to get it back in front. Yeah. That's when the club's going to be too far in front. You're going to hit big pushes and hooks.
Which I don't want.
No. Yeah. No. So in an effort to not have to, like, the other part of what we talked about was the stick, right? So that during the downswing, it's still more in front of you. Which you can hit baby draws from there, but you're going to eliminate hooks.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, like, and you're going to hit little pushes sometimes.
I'm okay with that. It's like, that would be an ideal miss, like a little push for me.
So the only reason I want to get your arm more vertical, outside of the speed components that you can gain from it, is that when you get too deep, your left arm stays too deep, and then we get the same ball pattern. And so if we can, like instead of, in fact, here, let me show you this. I got to walk out and walk back in again. Let me show you this, bub. Let me show you this. And let me pull this up. So here, actually, this is already up.
Oh, nice.
So, perfect. So if I drew a straight line up and down from the butt of his club, Justin Thomas.
Yeah, JT.
Right? Now, how deep it goes or not depends on how in your left arm is. It also depends on how much body turn you have, the tilts, blah, blah, blah. The moral of the story for you is you're back here, like this. if I look at your normal.
But I want to be on the right side of that line.
I want you to be on the right side of the line. Yeah. And that's pretty much, let me see some other guys that may be good examples. Like Patrick Rogers played good this weekend as well. Just to give you some guys that are like playing, not just, hey, this is something I think.
Yeah.
So Patrick Rogers, straight down the line.
Swing. He's real short. He's like way short of parallel.
Yeah, they're lengthening it, but look at where his butt of his club is.
Yeah, right
middle of his foot.
Right foot.
So it depends on a couple different things. Rory goes pretty deep.
Yeah, he does go deep.
He goes deep.
Looking at his swing the other day, yeah.
And he probably, but he rotates like
ridiculous
beautiful.
Amount, though, yeah.
But even there, that camera angle's not perfect, but
it's still almost in the middle of that.
Right, you're too deep.
Yeah, definitely too deep.
All these guys that get in front, now you're saying rotate. Look where his is.
Thomas Peters, even it's on his toe almost.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be easier for you to get back in front from there. And I think that's pretty across the line. Adam Scott's probably like the model.
He was the model. We looked at his when we were doing everything at the start, yeah. And his, it's right in the middle. So we just got to get to the middle of the foot.
That's it. So it's just, the question is just, so the what part's simple. Yeah, it's just like, now what do you need to feel?